Hello everyone! Welcome to Ida's Tailoring. In our last week video, we did a Eurohem. In all those years that I've been in this app, I have realized that the best way to make a hem in a pair of jeans may differ. So in today's video, we are going to make it the easiest possible way. We are going to make a plain hem on a pair of jeans. So let's go! This is the pair of jeans that I need to shorten, and they are pinned in the right spot. Usually I prefer to fold it in the other way, but it's very easy to mark it. One way is to measure how much you need to cut, and the other way, which is my favorite, is to make sure that I'm marking outside and inside. When I remove the pin, I insert my shock right until my folding, and I'm marking. I visually see that I'm marking in the right spot. You see? Let me measure just to confirm that it's okay. Yep, the same. Nowadays, jeans are mass produced, and that diminishes a lot the quality of them. So when I'm shortening a jeans, I'll make sure that I'm gonna shorten both legs the same length. Yeah. Some pants come with one leg shorter than the other and one leg wider than the other sometimes. This is why you have to stretch out your jeans over your table. Make sure that the legs are folded over their center front creases and the center back crease. The four side seams must be all aligned. For a straight hem, I prefer to use my grid line rule, and I'm gonna make sure to place it perpendicular to the center back crease, passing through the mark I did. I'm using a shock, but you can use an old soap at home. Then I'm gonna mark the rest of the legs. I make sure to press down very well the ruler because I don't want it to move while I'm doing my other markings. Don't be too picky to mark everything because it's just too much material all together. Now I'm going to mark the front part doing exactly the same. I'm going to make sure to square to the center front line and connect with the first line I did. And then I'm going to mark the other pieces too. Now I have my first line, and I'm going to take the advantage that I have this rule with the grid lines, and then I can mark a second line at 1/2 inch. If I don't have that rule, it's okay. You can use a regular one and mark it this way, like you mark 2 lines and then you just connect it. But I always use my grid line because it's just easier, and there is always a difference in measurement provoked for the width of the shock, but that is coming to our advantage. I will explain you that later. So I have my second line, and now I'm gonna mark a third line, but the third line just on the top. So we have 3 lines before we cut. We need a very sharp scissor to cut it, and the center of the seams are the most tricky one because you have a lot of fabric together. So I have everything cut, it's everything at the same time, so I make sure that both legs are even. And now if you want, you can just mark a little better the lines. Remember that when you are doing that so much fabric, you don't want to lose anything. The next step is to try to find a good color to sew it because I wish to match the color. This one is a little tricky. I really don't have the right color. They are a little bit warmer or darker. So when it's like that, what I do is to make a short stitch just beside the hem with each color that I feel like is a contestant to see which one looks better. So in this case, I have one color that is warmer and the other that is darker. And my heart tells me that goes with the warmer, but my experience tells me that goes with the darker, and I'm gonna listen to my experience. If you want, you can cut a little bit of the excess of seam allowance and make sure to start sewing with the center seam. This is very important because you want the hem to look better outside than inside. use your hammer to flatten up that seam, and of course a mallet will be better. And make sure to align well all that seams when you fold it. Now I'm gonna just start sewing, and when I put my hem, I make sure that I align the hem at 1/2 inch because I'm gonna make a 1/2 inch hem. I usually hold the thread to do my first stitch, and then I do kind of 2 or 3 stitches, and then if you want, you can go and do a back stitch. A lot of my colleagues don't do that back stitch because anyways you're gonna go back again, so it's up to you. When you fold your hem, you have to keep in mind that you don't want to pull it in any direction. You want your folding to be completely parallel to the original seam. And this is the trick for sewing a very, very nice hem. Remember, if you have too much material, if it's too thick or whatever, just cut the excess what you can. That hurt. Mallet is better for that reason. And remember that you can use a button or anything to lift your foot when you encounter a super duper thick seam. Keep sewing until you reach the end, and then you can do a back stitch as well just to finish your seam. And here you go, you have a very straight and nice hem. If it's a little bit difficult for you to sew straight, you can use this kind of foot. You see, this foot is a 1/2 inch for hemming, and what it does is just that it keeps the seam at 1/2 inch from the edge so you can sew a little bit more comfortably. I'm gonna put it on to demonstrate you how to use it. So you pretty much have this piece, and the piece won't allow the hem to go too far. So you can keep on sewing and it will be easier. Let me show you. So I'm going to cut the excess of material, fold it, do everything that needs to be done exactly in the same way that I showed you before. So you start sewing, and as you can see, the piece at the edge is keeping my hem in check. So a lot of my colleagues like to use it, a lot don't. We are sometimes a little bit lazy and we don't want to change the foot, but I think it's a great option if you are looking for a better finish. Let me show you and let me compare. The one at the top is the one that I use in the special foot, and the one at the bottom is with the regular foot. As you can see, they pretty much look the same and they are both nice. So your last step is to iron. I prefer to iron from the inside, and I iron vertically, not at the sides. And I think it gives a better finish. But honestly, if you are iron any hem, it's good to try on a piece of the fabric. As you can see, I have this one together with a pin, and it's because if there is a mistake or whatever, the jeans is too short, I always can make a Eurohem for lengthening if the customer complains. And as you can see, this hem is a little flat, but after the customer wash those jeans a few times, it will come a little bit more washed and it will look more natural. But in the meantime, as you can see, it's a very nice hem. It's very clean. A lot of my customers prefer that hem. They like it clean. But how about you? Do you prefer to keep the original hem, or this hem will do it? If you find this video useful or entertaining, please give us a like and don't forget to subscribe, share, comment. Bye!